Indiana at Maryland. Indiana wins 55-10, and holy cow, Zach! This Indiana team looks unstoppable at this point in a game. Even when Indiana does not have Elijah Surratt, they do not have Drew Evans, their left guard. Aiden Fisher is out. I mean, I think there were 8 total starters that were out in this game. I'm only highlighting some of the big guys, big ones. I mean, Elijah Surratt played the first drive, but then he was out after that, and Indiana just says, screw it. Who cares? We're going to run the ball over you. We're going to run for 367 yards. You're going to run for 37 yards. Fernando Mendoza is going to throw a pick at the beginning of the game, and he's not going to throw the ball that much, only 14 to 21. But you know what is going to happen? Kalen Black is going to get 14 carries for over 100 yards. Roman Hemby is going to get 18 carries for 88 yards and a touchdown. And Kobe Martin, yeah, he's really good too. He's going to get 11 carries for 80 yards and a touchdown. And Omar Cooper, he's going to get 86 yards receiving and a touchdown. And Fernando Mendoza is going to rush for a touchdown too. Yeah. Did you see that, by the way, how he was like patting Pat Coogan on the back as he was scoring the touchdown?
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. Well, then his younger brother, it's Angelo, right? Angelo Mendoza?
Alberto.
Or Alberto.
Yeah, Angelo is Jeremiah Smith's younger brother.
Okay. Alberto had that big run down the sideline, and you're like, he's gone. He's gone. He's not gone, but it looked like he could have went the distance.
Yeah. Yeah, Alberto Mendoza, 53 yards down the sideline there. It's just insane because everybody wants to talk about, oh yeah, Indiana runs up the score, and half the people don't even realize that Fernando Mendoza has a younger brother, Alberto Mendoza.
Well, I mean, they are running up the score.
They are running it up, but they're not.
Keyword running.
They're just running, and nobody can stop them at the end of the game.
Right.
So,
right. Oh, they're trying to run out the clock. Oh, they can't. Why? Because the holes are too big for the running backs to run through. That's why.
I mean, I was really impressed by the defense in this one for Indiana. You get a field goal there at the very beginning after Maryland gets the interception, which, by the way, great interception by Glasgow. I don't know if that was Elijah Surratt getting hurt or what happened there that made that happen. Probably should have done a little bit more research to figure out what happened exactly on that play. But he made a good interception. Figured it out where Fernando Mendoza was going with the ball. But then the Indiana defense, 4 plays, 6 yards in that drive, so they don't do anything. They get a field goal, 3 and out the next one, 5 plays, 42 yards in the next one. They get an interception on the next one, punt, and then they only punted once in the second half. Maryland did, but they also got a turnover on downs and 3 fumble recoveries, which was insane.
That's insane.
Oh, and the most impressive part. This is not exactly what gave me the most confidence, but it's just a fun stat because it reminded me of Reggie Miller's 9 points and 8 seconds. Indiana scored 21 points in less than 2 minutes of game time there with the touchdown and the 2 fumble recoveries. The idea that this team can just pounce on you like that out of nowhere. I shouldn't say out of nowhere, obviously, but Maryland did just score before that. So you're like, oh, okay, Maryland, maybe has a little bit that they're doing with it here, and maybe they're going to come out with a little bit of offense. No, shut that down right away because Indiana scores 2 fumble recoveries later. It's 21-0.
Yep.
Or 21-0 flip.
Yeah, it was. Well, I was watching the game with some friends. I remember thinking like they've scored. I think it was when they had 4 turnovers. They scored 24 points off those turnovers. I mean, so they get turnovers and then they put you out of your misery. And I'll tell you what, you talked about the running game. Let's just talk about the lines of scrimmage in general. They ran for 367 yards. They held Maryland to 37 yards rushing. Again, those are insane numbers. And, we have someone in the chat, Mark guaranteeing a win over Ohio State for Indiana. If their offensive and defensive lines can be that dominant, then yeah, Indiana will beat Ohio State because that is going to be incredibly difficult to overcome if they can play that well. Come Big Ten championship game, which, by the way, they're going to be in the Big Ten championship game. Like, they're not going to lose a game in the regular season. They go to Penn State. That's where they might face the most resistance. and I don't think it's going to be a ton.
Mhm.
By the way, I'm done picking close games against Indiana the rest of the regular season.
I was
I'm
wondering when
done.
you were going to learn your lesson.
I'm done. I'm not, I've like, they're going to beat Penn State by 50 next week. They're going to beat Wisconsin by 60. They're going to beat Purdue by like infinity. Like it's just forget it. I'm not doing that again. You can't compete against that type of run game and that type of defense. You just can't.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, right now, this Indiana team is playing on a different level. They're being coached on a different level. Right now, there are no two stronger teams in the country than Ohio State and Indiana. And what we see in the Big Ten championship game, which, by the way, the odds for that game are so lopsided. Ohio State has minus 150 odds to win the Big Ten championship game on FanDuel. Indiana has plus 135. The next closest, do you know who it is?
Is it Alabama?
No. To win the Big Ten championship
Oh, the
game.
win Big Ten. Sorry. Yeah, Alabama. Is it Alabama? Gosh,
Yeah.
I'm I mean I would imagine it's Oregon, but it's probably way down.
No, Michigan plus 2,500.
Really?
Yeah, because well, if Michigan beats Ohio State, they'll have the head-to-head over them.
Oh, yeah, and they would go to the Big Ten
I mean, as long
title.
as they win all their other games. We'll talk about Michigan here a little bit later on, but
Yeah.
yeah. Max says Oregon plus 6,000. No, Oregon is at plus 2,700. So they're just 200 away from Michigan.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
But
mean,
Oregon needs some help to get in.
really the only interesting part of the Big Ten right now is will they get a fourth playoff team? Because you're most likely going to get Oregon unless they just really screw up at the end of the schedule here. I don't think that'll happen, but unless they just screw up and lose two games here at the end of the schedule, could happen, but I don't think it will happen. And then I don't think Michigan, like I think Michigan kind of finds themselves in the same boat as Notre Dame, where like they could sneak into the playoffs, but they need to start destroying some teams. And with the injuries that they have right now, I don't think it's going to happen. Anyway, we'll talk about Michigan a little bit later on. But overall, Indiana, a wagon. Talked about them as a wagon before. They're still a wagon. They're going to be a wagon all season. Any thoughts on Maryland after this one, Zach?
This is the first time this season where I am feeling very retirement committee ish. That I don't know where I was going with that sentence.
You are pro retirement.
I am starting to lean that it might be good for Loxley to find a different job. I understand
I think
Indiana.
he just needs to win one more game.
I do too, but that's going to be tough to recover from. Like they got just flat out embarrassed. And my concern for Maryland is does this short circuit the momentum they had with Malik Washington as a young freshman signal caller? Because I mean, most of the turnovers were his fault, if not all of them. And
yeah, I mean
like
that's just a freshman quarterback trying to make plays, though. Like you get that with a freshman, right?
yes, but what is the effect for the rest of the year, like mentally?
I mean, they could beat Rutgers. Rutgers offense did not look good against Illinois. I think that's more of Illinois looking good. We'll talk about them here later on. Then they get
Yeah.
at Illinois, at Rutgers. Sorry, at Illinois, Michigan State.
Yeah. So I
They
mean,
they could possibly beat Michigan if Michigan has all the injuries and stuff going on. But I wouldn't pick it. I suppose if Illinois' defense decides to, not do anything again, they could beat them, and then they could beat at Rutgers and Michigan State. I have Maryland above both of them in my power rankings, so I think they'll get one of those two.
Yeah, I think they get a fifth win. I'm just this was the game where I'm like, oh come on, Loxley, like you got to show more life than that. But I think part of it is Indiana. This is what Indiana does and what their system does to teams that are lesser, and that's precisely what they were. But
yeah, had question. Well, we'll move on. Yeah, I think Loxley will be fine. He'll be back next season. Hopefully, they just pay their players to stick around. Because did you see that story about Roman Hemby?
No.
Maryland chose not to pay Roman Himby or any other like returning players. So all their returning players left because they were like, yeah, we're going to pay the freshmen. And they're like, okay, well then we'll leave.
Peace out.
So Roman Himby, who's been a good player for them the entire time, and Kirk Cinetti has said he's like one of the best culture guys on the team. They were just like, yeah, we're not going to pay you. We'll pay the freshmen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't get Loxley's decision making. It's strange.